Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Gebo the Shaman, and today we're talking about what happens when we have Moon placed in the 4th house in Cancer for Aries Ascendant. And we're talking about Vedic Astrology today. So we have Moon in the 4th house in Cancer for Aries Ascendant. So before we get into all the things about that, please go to my website, gebotheshaman.com. The link is down below in the description. Go to that website, gebotheshaman.com, and you can book a reading with me, an astrology reading with me. You can, I have astrology courses there, even, astrology certification courses, so you can become a certified Vedic astrologer by following a very easy, simple process. Like I explain things so it's very easy for everyone to understand and to become a Vedic astrologer. And also you can go to I also offer with that package of the Vedic astrology certification course, in that when you pass the test, when you pass the exam, you'll get your own website. So that's great. All right. So yeah, let's get into the Moon in the 4th house in Cancer. So if you have Moon in the 4th house in Cancer, we need to first of all break down what that means. So what is the Moon? The Moon is the mind. It is, when I say the mind, a lot of times people think of the intellect. However, it's not the intellect. It's actually the feeling part of us, the heart mind, not the brain. And so, yeah, the Moon corresponds to the mother as well, and nurturing, feelings, emotions. Moon is watery, so it pertains to the water. And just like it's the phases of the moon, the water, it makes the moon makes the water rise, the tides rise and fall, and things like that. So it's changing. It's not just a stable thing. It's changing. It's morphing with it's evolving with its phases. So, yeah. So, we'll talk about the moon phases, or the amount of light that hits the moon and how that affects your mental health as well. But first we need to talk about Cancer and the 4th house. Now, Cancer and the 4th house, those energies are very closely related. They're very similar. Why is this? Because Cancer is the 4th sign of the zodiac, the natural 4th house. So, when we have Cancer in the 4th house, that's a great sign. That means that energy is going to be kind of stabilized. When we have it with, like, let's say Leo in the 4th house, that's a mix of energies, and it'll produce a different result. But Cancer in the 4th house is generally considered very good, and the Moon and Jupiter rule Cancer. So we have the Moon in its own sign here. So Cancer and the 4th house are very similar to the Moon, where they are, nurturing. The 4th house is all about the home life, the private life, the secret life, whereas the 10th life would be like someone's public life, their public reputation and things like that. like you see tabloids of celebrities and things like that, their personal life becomes public domain because they're famous people. So, um, so with the fourth house, it's private life. It's the home that you're in, your home life, your mother. Fourth house also has to do with mother, and and also fourth house is real estate, definitely. And like if you have Mars in here, that's definitely like good for real estate, making money with real estate, things like that. And so we see like someone who has a very natural inclination towards the home life here. So, fourth house is your your private life, your mother, your family. It's it represents your relationship with your mother. So, as far as the mother goes, like again, these energies are so similar. You would really have to take a look if you have any any aspect to this house or to the moon. If any planet is having an aspect to the house or to the moon, then really look at that planet and what that represents, because that's going to change the dynamic here. But yeah, again, as I said, I would talk to you guys about the moon phases. So it's been shown, in Vedic astrology, that the moon phase that someone is born in, let's say it's a new moon. New moon means that the moon is completely black. You can't even see it in the sky. That means that the sun's light is not shining on it, or that we can't see the sun's light shining on it. And so, whereas a full moon would be a brightly lit moon, the full aspect of the sun is shining on the moon, right? So, depending on the degree to which the sun shines on the moon, depends on you. It really affects your mental state. So someone who has a new moon, a black moon, basically, that person would have kind of a negative outlook on life, or like would be prone to depression, prone to mental illness and things like that. Whereas full moon tends to be like a positive outlook on life, positive mental state, and things like that. And I know like even my grandma kind of told me this. She used to work at a hospital many years ago, and she would always say like when the moon was full, you would have a bunch of people, mental patients coming into the hospital. And so, while that is true, it's more of I think the moon is more active when it's full, so it's more prevalent and pronounced. So whatever, it's bringing out whatever mental state people have when the moon is full. It's not necessarily meaning that, oh, since there's a full moon out, everybody's gonna feel happy. No, it's triggering your mental state. So also depends on like the nakshatra, the everything like that. So yeah, that's a lot about the moon. But for the moon in the fourth house, This can also, kind of explain your relationship with your mother. So if the moon is well placed and it's a full moon, then that means that you're probably going to have a better relationship with your mother. Um, even when planets are in their own signs, things can happen, like negative things. Um, and so just because a planet is in its own sign doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be a good thing. It can be aspected like by Mars, and it can turn into like your mother abusing you or something like that, or some abuse going on in your home life. So with this, it tends to be good. It tends to be healthy and happy and supportive and things like that. But again, the phase of the moon plays into this as well. So, with this, one tends to have like a emotional state based on their home life, their family and the people that they're around and that they disclose their private things to can have an effect on their mental state. So if people prove to be like, untrustworthy or things like that, that can have an effect on, how you feel about yourself and about, it can really affect your mental health and things like that. And so with this position, one is, as I said, the moon is the feelings, the emotions, the nurturing and loving yourself. And with this, that can kind of change. Even whatever the moon phase is that you're born with, your mental state can change like rapidly. And I would say it kind of comes in waves. It kind of comes and goes, kind of like the tide does. It slowly goes up and it slowly comes down. So, so yeah, with this position, let me check the time here. With this position, your mental state or your moon is looking at the 10th house. So rather than being like a workaholic, you're more of the one of those people who just wants to be comfortable and to stay at home and to just relax and be at home and just kind of take it easy and things like that. And so, that works for a lot of people. A lot of people, like for a woman with this position, they would be pretty comfortable just being a housewife, and just taking care of the house. And, with a guy with this placement, he'd be more drawn to like do work from home, home security, things like that. Although home security jobs are more Mars and Cancer. So with the moon here, it's interesting. We have the mental state, the mind, the thoughts, the emotions, and so a person with this position would be very guarded with their family. Be very protective of them, and just be very, very just protective of their family. Like, I'm trying to think of another word or something. But also another thing that you have to consider with this position, anywhere in an Aries chart, you'll have Aries energy. Because it's like looking through the world, looking at the chart through these Aries glasses. And so you bring into that energy wherever you are. And so even looking at the chart, when you have an Aries ascendant, that affects the whole chart. So yeah, it would be like this more, like, kind of like almost Mars and Cancer kind of thing, where you're very protective of your home space, your family, your children, your, close friends and intimate partners and things like that. And it would be like guarding the fourth house. And so, someone like this can kind of have a temper or a short fuse when it comes to people, disrespecting their family and things like that, and just very protective of their peace and quiet, and you know also with this, their mother could also have this like energy of Aries. So with that, they might have helped you to to even compete in sports, to any kind of competition or things like that. Like a soccer mom or things like that, where it's more goal oriented, having competition and goals in mind. That's kind of how you would relate to your mother. Although with this placement, like, there's going to be that motherly energy, like that healthy motherly energy. I feel like anytime we have Moon in Cancer, like there's always going to be that like the good times that you remember with your mother, even though there might have been some bad things affiliated with that or associated with your mother. There's bound to be some like fond memories and good memories and things like that. Also, depending on the other planetary positions and things like that, one could do especially good in real estate and things like that. So yeah, you might have an interest in real estate, even if it's not like becoming a realtor or like building houses or selling houses. It would be like, maybe even flipping houses or having some investment in real estate of some kind. So yeah, that's pretty much my analysis for this position. And yeah, if you have any questions or consider any questions or things like that, you can leave them in the comment section. And I've been getting a lot of inquiries about doing free readings and things like that, but unfortunately at this time, like, I just can't do that. Like, I put a lot of effort and even money and resources into learning about astrology and learning this profession, and it is a profession. It is a profession for me. It is my full-time job, this channel and my business with astrology. So if you'd like a reading, if you'd like to support the channel, if you'd like to help me pay my bills, like, I would be so appreciative of that. And you can purchase a Vedic Astrology reading by going to gebotheshaman.com and click on, I have two options there. One is just strictly the reading portion, and then the second option is a 1 hour consultation with the reading portion. So that's up to you, whether you want a consultation or just the reading, the astrology reading. So, and I do it in a very unique style as well. And I didn't mention it in this video so far, but with any placement that your moon is in, where you're feeling depression or anxiety or things like that, if your moon is like 49% or lower of sunlight, so it's like, you know, beyond that threshold. So if it's not lit up like a full moon or things like that, there's good remedies for that. There's mantras I found do a great job at helping that. So if you're experiencing like depression, anxiety, brain fog, mental illness of any kind, if you purchase a reading from me at gebotheshaman.com, my readings come with a mantra for you. So anytime you recite a mantra that pertains to the mind, the moon, or yeah, it's actually the soul, how the soul interacts. So the moon is good for, our mantras are great for the moon. And so it's really good stuff. So even if you don't want to get a reading from me, you can do a simple mantra like Om Namah Shivaya or Ganesha mantra or things like that. Om Gam Ganapadaye Namaha, things like that. Those mantras really help the mental state and just relaxing and healing it. So as with any mantra, you should do recite the mantra 108 times every day for 40 days minimum. And before you start changing mantras or want to try a new one every day or whatever, stick to one for 40 days in a row. 108 times every day for 40 days in a row. And that will start changing things. And if you like a mantra, if you can feel its effects in your life, then you can even stick with that throughout your life, and that'll help your mental state. So, cool. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much it. gebotheshaman.com. Go get a reading. Go purchase my Vedic Astrology certification course, and we will see you next time. And of course, I have all of my courses, services up here. You can see my courses. And if you'd like, please go ahead and subscribe and click that bell button. And click all for the notifications. And yeah, until next time, guys, we will go ahead and see you then. Take care, guys. Bye.